Welcome to Movie Recap, a channel dedicated to those addicted to movies. Our focus is to showcase the best recap of your favorite flick. Sit back, grab your popcorn and get ready to be amazed by Kung Fu Panda. Even though Po is the most slothful and ungainly panda in the Valley of Peace, he has a secret ambition to become a legendary Kung Fu fighter. Po's homeland is threatened by the evil snow leopard Tai Lung, so the unfortunate panda is picked to fulfill an old prophecy and protect the valley from harm. Po, who is trained by Master Shifu, sets out to foil Tai Lung's nefarious schemes and goes on an incredible high-kicking journey. Spoilers ahead. Legend tells of a legendary warrior whose kung fu skills were the stuff of legend. A mystery panda strolls through the Chinese countryside while wearing a sedge hat and a flowing cape. He is regarded as a grand master of kung fu, and as soon as he walks into a tavern, the local rough hands assault him. But even the fabled kung fu masters, the Furious Five, submit to the panda's skill and ask to hang out and battle with him since they are no match for it. In his chamber, Po the gigantic panda awakens from a dream. From the noodle restaurant below, his goose father, Mr. Ping, calls on him to assist with table service. Before heading downstairs, Po admires his Furious Five action figures. Po is a huge admirer of Kung Fu and hopes to one day master the art and be able to fight with the five, but due to his size and awkwardness, this goal will never come true and his sole martial arts abilities are limited to what he knows about movements and artifacts. He is afraid to tell his father what he wants because he is more focused on managing his restaurant and promoting his well-known, secret ingredient soup. Before being called to see Grand Master Oogway, the tortoise, Master Shifu, a red panda who lives in the Jade Palace Temple, practices Kung Fu in the courtyard with his students, the Furious Five, Tigress, Crane, Monkey, Viper, and Mantis. Shifu rushes to see him meditating in the main hall, fearing something is amiss. While not denying the bad news, Oogway tells Shifu in a cool manner that he has a prediction that Tai Lung, the snow leopard warrior, will break free from prison and return to the Valley of Peace to wreak havoc once more. With the goal of never allowing this to occur, Shifu sends Seng, his goose messenger, to fly to Chorgam prison and make sure that the level of security is raised. Then Oogway declares that it is now time to select the Dragon Warrior, a highly skilled expert who will unlock the secrets of the cosmos by deciphering the Dragon Scroll, which is carefully hidden on the temple ceiling. Presuming that one of the Furious Five will be selected, Shifu sets up a contest to decide who will make the cut. Villagers swarm to the temple after flyers advertising the tournament are distributed around the community. Po, carrying his noodle cart, follows eager to meet his idols in person but finds it difficult to climb the lengthy stairway leading to the shrine. When he finally makes it to the gates, he discovers that they have closed behind him. Po, in a frantic attempt to witness the competition conclude before it ends, straps pyrotechnics to his cart and launches himself skyward, only to crash back into the arena as Oogway is about to select one of the five. When Po opens his eyes, he sees that Oogway is pointing a finger directly at him. He is shocked, as does everyone else, to learn that he is the Dragon Warrior. Notwithstanding Shifu's objections, Oogway makes the ultimate decision, and Po is carried, albeit unsuccessfully, into the temple, leaving Tigress feeling deeply let down because it appeared Oogway would have picked her had Po not shown up. Inside the temple, Po surveys the numerous weapons and priceless relics with amazement until Shifu comes up to him and chastises him for his glaring lack of proficiency. He grabs his finger in what Po identifies as the Wuxi finger hold, which is said to be quite powerful, deflating Po's exhilaration. Before escorting Po to the Five's training chamber, where he is immediately put to the test, Shifu makes a vow that Po will repent ever being picked. Po accepts the challenge, nervous yet eager to try some kung fu moves, only to be hurled, tossed, and battered down to a now existent level 0. Po hears the five make fun of his inadequacies as they are making their way to the dorms. He opens up to Crane in an uneasy chat about his own uncertainties about being the Dragon Warrior. His misgivings are allayed when Tigress calls him a disgrace to Kung Fu and promises that, if he is smart, he would be gone by dawn. Po withdraws to a remote area, dejected. He is discovered by Oogway sitting beneath the peach tree of heavenly wisdom, stuffing peaches into his mouth. Observing his anguish and noticing that he takes solace in eating, Oogway confides in Po that he obsesses about the past and future. Rather of doubting himself, he ought to concentrate on the here and now. Reborn with a renewed feeling of purpose, Po declares he will stay to train and gets up early the following morning. He spars with all 5 of the Furious 5, and although his passion never wavers, he takes some serious beatings. Shifu is lost, frustrated by Po's tenacity. With the exception of Tigress, the 5, however, gradually grow to like Po after being struck by his resilience. Shifu was not always as strict as he is now, the 5 disclosed during an acupuncture session with Mantis. Tigress reveals that Tai Lung's alteration in demeanor was due to him. When Tai Lung showed signs of being a natural Kung Fu expert, Shifu, who had discovered him as a newborn on the temple steps, took him under his wing and began to believe that he was the legendary dragon warrior. But when it came time for Tai Lung to come before Oogway, the great master saw something sinister in him and refused to give him the dragon scroll. Tai Lung became furious and launched a violent attack on the settlement, attempting to seize the scroll by force. Because Shifu was too attached to him, he was unable to combat Tai Lung, and Oogway had to use chi blocking to overcome him. Then Tigress claims that Shifu has never taken care of anyone or anything again, not even his own foster daughter. As Zeng arrives at Chorgong prison, the overconfident rhinoceros commander Vatcher leads him to Tai Lung's hold. As one of Zeng's feathers falls into Tai Lung's hand, Vatcher tells Zeng that there is no way out of the cage. He breaks out of the turtle shell device on his back by using his tail to dislodge the chi blockers inside the feather. In a spectacular demonstration of his powerful Kung Fu skills, Tai Lung breaks out of the prison and seizes Zeng, telling him to fly back to Shifu and proclaim that the true dragon warrior is returning. Once they return to the temple, Po plays with the 5 some homemade noodle soup while mimicking Shifu by dressing up a noodle as a mustache. A disheveled Zeng greets Shifu outside and delivers the news. Shifu, in a panic, discovers Oogway next to the sacred peach tree and informs him that Tai Lung is approaching. Though surprised, Oogway reassures Shifu that Tai Lung will be vanquished and Shifu would at last achieve inner peace if he trains the panda and has faith in him. Then, declaring that his time has arrived, he hands Shifu his wooden staff. He strolls up to the cliff's edge and disappears into a mist of peach blossoms. Disappointed, Shifu heads back to the temple and tells the 5 that Po is their only remaining hope to beat Tai Lung since Oogway has passed away. Terrified, Po runs out of the temple, but Shifu stops him in his tracks. Po approaches Shifu and claims that he attempted to eject him from the temple. Po confesses to having a deep-seated self-loathing as a fat loser and how he held out the remote hope that Shifu could transform him when Shifu questions why he then stayed knowing that his teacher wanted him to resign. Po asks Shifu how he will train the gigantic panda to become the dragon warrior when he sees how spiritually burdened the animal is. Shifu acknowledges that he doesn't know how to handle a student who is so burdened in many ways when faced with such a difficulty. Hearing this from the top of the temple, Tigress flees the Jade Palace and heads into the countryside, quickly joined by the other 4 or 5, to confront Tai Lung. They discover him traversing the thread of hope, a network of mountain bridges. On the final bridge, they make an attempt to halt him. Following a fierce struggle, Tai Lung appears to have been vanquished by the 5, who tie him to the wreckage of the broken bridge and cast him into the mist below. But Tai Lung's abilities outclass them, and he unexpectedly throws himself down the cliff and uses a chi block to subdue them. When Shifu wakes up that morning, he finds Po in the kitchen of the temple, surrounded by cabinets that have perfect hole punches in the doors and planks that have been split in half. Before ducking behind the threshold, Shifu gives Po a hint as to where Monkey hides his cookies. When he returns, he finds Po eating the cookies and executing a flawless split close to the ceiling. Seeing Po's hidden ability, Shifu leads him deep into the Wudan Mountains to the Pool of Sacred Tears, the place where Oogway established the foundations of Kung Fu. Finally, having complete faith in his pupil, Shifu declares himself to be Po's master with a dramatic flourish. Shifu starts his intense training of Po with that emotional support, rewarding him with food. Shifu's own spirits increase and progress at Po's rapid improvement as Po's unique training pays off and he becomes stronger and more coordinated. In an increasingly ferocious combat over a dumpling that turns into a wild spar in which the giant panda uses strong and creative fighting skills to win, Shifu's faith in Po is confirmed. But Shifu shows how much he has grown when Po returns the dumpling he won, displaying a newfound emotional stability and strength. They head back to the temple just as Crane soars in with the remaining 5, who are immobilized as a result of Tai Lung's blows. Shifu gives them new life, but Po is disheartened because Tai Lung was defeated by 5 masters. How could he? He is given Shifu's word that he will possess the dragon scroll, which no one else possesses. When Shifu brings it out for Po to see, Po yells in shock to see the scroll is blank except for a shiny gloss. Feeling severely let down, Shifu finally agrees to let the 5 leave the town while he stays at the temple to keep Tai Lung at bay. Reluctantly, the 5 accept, and Po goes back to helping his father pack up the noodle store. When Ping tries to comfort Po, Po acknowledges that he doesn't know who he is and finds it hard to accept that he is Ping's kid. Surprised, Ping whispers to Po the secret ingredient to his well-known secret ingredient soup, something he ought to have revealed to him a long time ago. There is nothing secret. He says that anything only becomes exceptional if people genuinely think it is. Po returns to the temple after realizing the secret when he opens the scroll and sees his reflection on its glazed surface. At the top of the stairs, Shifu awaits Tai Lung's arrival. Shifu fights Tai Lung because he won't surrender the scroll to his former pupil. Invoking his birthright to possess the scroll, Tai Lung accuses Shifu of instilling in him notions of his own destiny and of failing to confront Oogway when the turtle objected. Shifu argues that he is following his master's decision and that Oogway made it alone while thwarting the onslaught of his adoptive sons. But when Tai Lung notices the memorial for Master Oogway, the snow leopard sneers that Shifu has clearly taken the position of the late master, meaning the red panda now has the power to arbitrarily overturn Oogway's ruling. Shifu becomes enraged at the thought of belittling his teacher's legacy in such a way and launches an offensive. Shifu acknowledges that he was proud from the start but that pride had prevented him from seeing what Tai Lung was becoming into. Tai Lung sobs in the battle, conveying to him his feelings of pride while also hinting at sadness and desertion. Although this revelation temporarily moves Tai Lung, his vicious ambition resurfaces. Tai Lung demands the scroll and expresses no interest in making amends or making peace with his foster father. Po, who emerges at the temple entryway tired, stops him from giving a fatal blow to Shifu. Even after seeing the dragon warrior's plump appearance, Tai Lung strikes Po when he shows him the dragon scroll he is holding. They fight their way inside the village, fighting for control of the scroll. At one point, Tai Lung is certain that the scroll is giving him power, but Po imagines the scroll as a bowl of dumplings to motivate him to scale a high precipice to acquire it. Tai Lung ultimately prevails in the long battle and joyously unlocks the scroll to reveal the purported power therein. But when he notices the golden reflection inside, he totally misses the metaphorical significance of it. Tai Lung doesn't accept the panda's explanation or the notion that everything the snow leopard has, in his opinion, betrayed and sacrificed for seemingly no reason when Po stands up to clarify. Now overcome with such a raging sadness, Tai Lung assaults Po once more, but this time he lacks self-control and a clear motive. Po uses cunning in his bouncing tummy to make Tai Lung powerless. After spewing a string of derogatory remarks, Tai Lung gives Po the finger in the wuxi finger hold. Tai Lung calls Po's bluff, and Po confesses that he learned the move on his own and that Shifu never showed him how to do it. Po gives a victorious skadoosh and flexes his pinky, sending a powerful wave of raw energy across the valley that the 5 escorting the refugees into the hills can feel. Po is applauded by the returning villagers after killing Tai Lung. Before Po returns to the temple to see how Shifu is doing, Tigress and the other 5 bow down to him and address him as master. He discovers Shifu on the temple floor, motionless but still alive, and informs him that he has vanquished Tai Lung. Before closing his eyes, Shifu expresses gratitude to him and tells Po that he has brought him serenity. When Po yells at him, Shifu corrects him, telling him that he's only taking a nap. After a silent, contemplative minute, Po lies down next to him and asks if he wants something to eat. Okay, says Shifu. At the peach tree of heavenly wisdom, they have a supper of dumplings while watching a new day unfold and a seed that Shifu had earlier sown start to sprout. We really hope you enjoyed today's recap of Kung Fu Panda. Please leave a comment below of what you loved about the movie and why. Be sure to like the video and please don't forget to support our channel by subscribing so you don't miss any amazing content. Until next time, lights, camera, action. We look forward to seeing you in our next video.